Alright, it's your boy No Tail Ninja back at it again with another video, and we have an awesome follow-up from last week's chapter where the 10-tailed creatures went on the attack, and we discover that Himawari is actually hiding a 9-tailed fox inside of her, the nature of which we get a little bit of an explanation in this chapter, but there's still so many questions left to be had. And I think this is one of the best chapters of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex so far, and it has so many beats that it hits correct, and I want to talk about it badly. So before I get into it, you guys know the deal. Make sure to drop a boy a like and subscribe, because I'm working hard to get this content out for you guys. And hopefully now that My Hero's over, I should be able to put out a lot more Boruto style content and content from various other things, but we'll see how that goes, because, you know, life is life. But anyway, enough of my rambling, let's get into talking about today's chapter. So we start the chapter with Team 10 on the run from the 10-tails. They realize that they can't outrun them, but Jura seems weirdly patient because he realizes that they're just trying to change battlefields to not do more damage to the village, as the rest of the Konoha Jonins finally pull up to the battlefield. And who else do we see but our boy Konohamaru, who I got a video coming for this week, but he confirms that he's encountered the trespassers, but he doesn't see any sign of Team 10. And Shikamaru on the other end is like, relax, Team 10's okay for now. They've taken Himawari and traveling southwest in order to lead the trespassers elsewhere. But it's unclear why they actually are after Himawari, because obviously they're not going to know about the whole thing going on with her and the 9-tails. As Kawaki overhears this transmission, it seems to spark his attention, as well as Boruto, because obviously it's both of their sisters. And Shikamaru tells Kawaki to stop fighting Boruto for the moment and focus on following the intruders, which he should have been doing all along. And he's like, it doesn't matter knowing that Himawari's in danger, he should have just led with that. And he goes off flying to the battlefield, which that went so well last time he fought them, as Delta trails behind him. Now Shikamaru tries to get back in contact with Boruto, who seems to be reeling from the karma marking still being active, and it seems like it's kind of immobilizing him for now. As the Jonins encounter Hidari and Jura, as Hidari becomes annoyed by the presence of these Jonin, wondering why they continue to interfere with their plans, as Jura just takes off following Team 10. Now Konohamaru, seeing this, wants to follow after him, but there's one little hiccup in the way. That is Hidari, who again seems very annoyed by their presence. And obviously these Jonin, who, let's just say they're not the greatest hitters right here, are kind of pissed that he's blocking the way. So Konohamaru, realizing that one of the chakra signatures that they mentioned earlier was Sasuke Uchiha, but the person standing in front of him, nor did the guy that was there before, look like him, so they ask the sensor unit to confirm where he is, and it confirms that Sasuke is standing directly in front of him. As Hidari is now getting even more infuriated, saying, "Answer my questions, are you deaf, are you feeble-minded?" As Konohamaru and Hidari seem to be about to clash, Sarada comes out of the smoke. Trying to check if everyone's okay, Hidari makes eye contact with Sarada, knowing that she is actually the one he's here to devour. So he immediately goes on the offensive, jumping into one of his claw marks and teleporting right behind her. He tries to strike her with a Chidori, but Sarada quickly dodges, and then somehow counters back with her own Chidori, and seemingly incapacitates Hidari in one hit. Now I know this has been one of those things on the internet that people have been really upset about because she is only in a 3-Tomei Sharingan versus Hidari, who has a Rinnegan, and honestly I don't really have a good answer for that myself, to be frank with you. But Sarada, shocked that this mysterious person just used a Chidori, looks upon him and is like, wait, he used the same technique as me and my father, but who is this person? But before we get a resolution to that, we cut back to Himawari and her whole 9-tailed fox situation going on. And this new 9-tailed fox confirms that it is Kurama, but she can call them whatever they want. And she realizes Kurama is the same Biju that used to live within her father, but before she could really process what's going on, she's like, wait, where are we? As Kurama tells her that it's nowhere real, what they see is just their conscious minds made visible, and they're currently exchanging words mind to mind. But this is also possible because they share a single body and soul. As we see Team 10 in the real world is trying desperately to wake her up, as they're trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with her, but as they look back, they see that Jura is hot on their tail, as they're begging for the sensory unit to please send them back up. As we come back to Himawari in her inner world, as she tries to figure out what exactly is going on and what's happening. As the 9-tail says, as you just said, my previous consciousness coexisted inside Naruto Uzumaki, your father. But in the midst of battle, my flame of life was extinguished. However, death is not external for Bijus. Even if our flesh and soul perish over time, a kernel of us will sprout somewhere, and we will manage to return to life. So that kind of means all Bijus are immortal, so I kind of wonder if the same thing functions for the 10-tails. As Himawari asks about this whole kernel thing, and he says who knows how long it will take, or where it might sprout, much less, but that it would be inside his daughter this soon. The universe is full of mysteries, and it could have been because she was born with both the Hyuga and Uzumaki chakra, which I think is a little bit confusing or misleading of a sentence because the Uzumakis were just the perfect vessels for Bijus throughout the past, but it doesn't necessarily have to do with the 6 paths chakra, if that makes sense. Or it could be, but I believe that that's why they phrased it with Uzumaki, not necessarily mentioning that Naruto and the 6 paths are connected in any way. And Kurama says, well, since it's already happened, it doesn't really matter now. What's most important is accepting the circumstances and moving forward. So then he looks Himawari in the eyes and says, so what do you think? As she finally introduces herself as Himawari Uzumaki. As the Ninetales just looks at her and says, "Atta girl," as she gets teleported back into the real world, as Inoji and the rest of the crew are just trying their fastest to get the hell away. Now the crew is ecstatic that Himawari is woken back up, but Jura is still very much hot on their tail. As Himawari still tries to get in contact with Kurama in the real world, Jura begins to load up a Biju bomb. As he destroys one of the wings on the B-scroll drawing, they start tumbling down to the ground. As Chocho in a last resort uses the body expansion technique and cushions their fall, as now they're just stuck with Jura right in front of them. As he says, "Again, you're a good team. A true shame I have to dispose of you. But it can't be helped. You yourself chose this fate." As Himawari is still trying to play with Kurama, as they tell her, "Don't be a spoiled baby. The only one who can do something about this is you." As she seems apparently shocked, they go on to say, "It should be a no-brainer. Whether you use my power or quash it is up to you." As she's still not really sure how exactly she's supposed to do that. As Kurama goes on to say, "I can sense that your chakra has a higher infinity to mine than any other user or predecessor, even more than Naruto. In order to use her power, she's gonna need to believe in herself. Otherwise, her future does not look very bright." As Shikadai is still wondering where the hell their damn backup is, and bro, you should ask your daddy about that. As Himawari just tries to leap in for an attack, and Jura immediately catches it, and then just snaps her leg like a damn twig. Which, I think the authors might have forgot she has the Byakugan. I don't know why she hasn't activated it this entire battle. But yeah, she's down for the count as Inoji is now enraged seeing what he just saw and tries to launch a Super B scroll to attack Jura. But it being light work, Jura just immediately dismantles it with the wood release. And then he begins to start to enclose Himawari in his wood release. And he tells her apparently this is their process of devouring, that she will just eventually become nutrition for his body. And don't worry, cause soon she won't feel anything, including that fractured leg of hers. As Inoji, still enraged, just finally goes in for a full-on attack. But Jura just kicks him away, as Himawari is begging for him to please stop, and Jura also concurs that, yeah, they should probably stop this. As Inoji is not willing to give up, and he slowly crawls towards Jura, just trying to grab at his feet and just like let her go. As Jura, just tired of all this, just finally impales him, and it seems to just be the end of Inoji, and everyone has a shocked look on their face. As Jura goes on to say, hold on, I read about this. Is this what they call aesthetics? Kind of just undermining all the death we just seen. But yeah, no, this is very shocking, and I'm gonna touch on this at the end, but yeah, I did not see this coming. As from the wood release, it just seems a mass of like tentacle-like things just burst out from where Himawari is being held captive. As everyone looks upon it, as Jura and Himawari lock eyes, and we see that she has now awakened her nine-tailed fox chakra. As the nine-tail says, "Well, it seems you've totally snapped. Well then, we shall run amok, Himawari." And that brings an end to the chapter. Which, I kind of like that they went with the whole Kushina angle for her design, but I wonder if they're going to incorporate the Byakugan into her kit, because that would be very insane. Kyuubi with the Byakugan powers, oh my god. But anyway, let me get to rating this chapter. And I want to give this like a 9.5. It was so close to being perfect, but again, there's like a couple plot holes that I just can't get over. And whenever there's plot holes, it makes it hard for me to rate anything a 10 out of 10. But the obvious glaring one is, why isn't she using her Byakugan if she's going in for an attack? They seem to have forgotten, at least in the manga currently, I don't think they've ever shown her using her Byakugan. Only time I've seen it is in a Kishimoto one-shot or Naruto's inauguration day. But did he forget again that she has a Byakugan? Because I know that was a thing from before. And Inoji's death is very shocking, but he hasn't really shown much of a presence in the series so far, so like, it was good for shock value, but it didn't really strike me emotionally because Inoji has kind of shown the least personality out of Team 10, so I was just kind of like, oh yeah, he's there. Which I kind of think it would have been better if they actually killed a legacy character right here, like someone else showed up to try to help him and they got killed. But I do understand for Himawari that it needed to be a close friend. And seeing as they brought the nine-tailed back, what's the odds that Inoji's actually dead anyway? He might just come back, so who knows if this was really meaningful in the end. And Sarada fighting Hidari and just one-shotting him kind of undermines their power, and as well as undermines the Jonin's abilities in the series, because yeah, she's a Uchiha, obviously she's gonna be really strong, but like, the Jonins aren't really doing much. Most of them just show up to get one-shotted. It's kind of sad, actually. And we have the one dude, like the chubby guy, that has like shown to be severely incompetent over the course of several chapters. But I think that's all I'm really hating on for the most part. It's just those 3 little like plot holes or plot inconveniences that keep me from giving this a perfect. But overall though, I still think this is going in a very good direction. I'm super hyped to see Boruto show up and actually have a real challenge, because everyone he's fought so far, he's easily defeated. So I'm looking forward to him actually fighting someone that could potentially rival him in power. And I'm also interested in seeing what Kawaki's nature is with Himawari, because he seemed to like change his tone once he found out Himawari is in danger. When earlier chapters he seemed to be annoyed by her. And also, I'm really curious to see what Himawari's full potential could really be, because as Kurama said, she has a higher affinity with chakra than any other user in the past. Now, I do think this is just like a little bit of a plot convenience, but who knows, because like Himawari has shown to have some super special abilities before when she one-shotted Naruto, so you know, maybe she has been a sleeper this whole time. That's what I've been hoping for, but we'll see. And is her Kyuubi mode just gonna be her like with the long hair? Because I think that it looks cool, but I would think it would be kind of lame. I kind of want to see her have a KCM cloak, or at least unleash like the other forms of the various chakra forms that the Nine-Tailed Fox has shown. But anyway, I think that's all I have to really say for this chapter right now. Again, another solid chapter. Hopefully they keep up the good work. Boruto is slowly crawling out of its way for me of being like a trash tier manga. I think that Two Blue Vortex has done it so much justice, and I want to keep seeing it. But anyway, as I said before, that's all I have to say for today. So stay safe, my ninjas, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.